Hello and welcome back to my channel everyone. In this part 2 of Object-Oriented Programming in Python series, we will dive into the powerful concepts of inheritance and polymorphism, which will help you write reusable and flexible code. So let's get started with inheritance. Inheritance is a fundamental property of object-oriented programming that allows us to create a new class called child class or derived class by inheriting properties and methods from another class called parent or base class. So in this way, inheritance promotes reusability of code and also creates a natural hierarchical relationship between classes. Now I am going to demonstrate how inheritance works in Python. First of all, understand that there is no particular syntax of inheritance in Python, and you can create any class and make it behave like a parent class and derive a new class from it. So here I am creating a base class called person, and I will simply create it just like we create normal classes. So class is the keyword, person is the name of the class, and now inside this class I am going to define the init method. Just choose this method, and here I am going to pass two variables, instance variables, name and age. And now inside this method definition I am going to initialize these instance variables. So self.name is equal to name and self.age is equal to age. It's time to create object of the base class. Let's call this object as person1, and I assign it the class name followed by a set of parentheses and pass the values for name. Let's say name is Bobby and age is 30. So let's first create one method here to display name and age values. Let's call this method as display info, and self is the default parameter as we know. Inside this method I am going to print an f string which says name, and then I will pass self.name followed by /n, and then comes age, and then I will pass self.age. Alright, let's call this method here. So person1 dot display info, just choose this method and run the file, and on the screen we have name is Bobby and age is 30. So in this case we have created a very simple class and created one object to access the methods and variables of this class. It's time now to create a derived class using this class person. Let's name the derived class as student. So we will begin by typing the keyword class followed by the name of the class, which is student in this case, and I want this class to be a child class for the person class. I will type a set of parentheses here and pass the name of the base class, which is person, and this means that student class will inherit all the properties and methods from this person class. When you have a single derived class and single base class, the concept is single inheritance. Anyway, right now I don't want this class to have any methods or attributes, so I will type a keyword pass, and this pass keyword is used when you don't want to add any attributes or methods to your class. Let's move on to create an object of the derived class, and here we are going to name this object as student1. Let's assign it the name student, and after that we put a set of parentheses. Now here you can see inside the student class we don't have any attributes or methods, but because it is inheriting everything from person class, so we are getting this message over here that it is asking for name and age values. So let's pass this name. Let's say name is Tina and age is suppose 12, and I'm going to hide these two lines. I will put these in comment. In the next line I'm going to access the display info method to display name and age. Now if I run the file, on the screen I have name Tina and age 12. So we have understood that even though the derived class does not have any properties or methods of its own, but since it is inheriting everything from its base class, so we can access these methods of the parent class via the object of the derived class. Let us now suppose that the student class also has its own init method. So I am going to replace this line pass with init method, and as soon as I add this method init in the derived class, it loses its inheritance of the init method from the parent class. Now we can override this method. We can redefine certain methods of the parent class in the child class. And this process is known as method overriding. So let us override this method by adding more parameters. So first two parameters will remain the same, name and age, and after that I want to add marks and subject. So as you can see, I have modified the definition of the init method in the derived class student, and this is known as method overriding. Now, in order to keep the inheritance of the parent class's init method, because there we were initializing name and age values, I want to keep that init method inside the derived class as well. So for that purpose, I will use the super function. The super function in inheritance is used to call the parent class's methods and to modify or extend the behavior of the parent class's methods in the child class. Super function works like this. We add super and then we put a set of parentheses followed by a dot operator, and then we choose the init method of the parent class, which is this one, and here we will pass name and age values, and that's all. So this method will allow us to inherit the init method of the parent class over here, and we will be able to initialize name and age values using this init method of the parent class. Now it's time to initialize marks and subject values which belong to derived class student only. So here we will initialize them just like normal instance variables. So self.marks is equal to marks and self.subject equal to subject. That's it. The init method has been defined now. Let us now add one more method to this derived class. Let's call it as display marks, and here we have self as the default parameter, and now I am going to print inside this function. Now let's call this function here. So instead of display info, this time I am calling display marks, and I will pass here four values: Tina, 12 is for age, then comes the next parameter which is marks. Let's say marks are 50, and suppose the name of the subject is English. And now when we will run this file, we get name is Tina, age 12, subject English, and marks 50. An important point to note here is that Python does not support method overloading, it only supports method overriding. Okay guys, now that I have explained the concept of inheritance and super method and method overriding, it's time for you to practice on your own. And here you have to create an employee class, which is a derived class that inherits attributes and methods from the person class. The employee class adds its own attributes, employee ID and salary, and a method display employee info. And you can use the super function to initialize the name and age attributes in the parent person class. Try it on your own and share your code with me in the comment section below. Also give your feedback, I would love to hear from you. Okay guys, let's move on to discuss about different types of inheritance in Python. Python supports 5 types of inheritance. By understanding these types, you can design more structured and reusable Python programs. The first type of inheritance is single inheritance, where one child class inherits from only one parent class, as we have just seen in our example. The second type of inheritance is multiple inheritance, where one child class inherits from multiple base classes, as shown. So here is the syntax of multiple inheritance. While deriving a new class, you have to mention all the base classes from which this class is inheriting by separating the names of base classes by a comma. The third type of inheritance is multi-level inheritance, where a class inherits from a child class. Since multiple levels of inheritance are involved, that is why the name multi-level inheritance. The fourth type of inheritance is hierarchical inheritance, which involves a single parent class and multiple child classes. And finally, we have a combination of multiple and multi-level inheritance in the form of hybrid inheritance, as shown in the example here. So guys, now that we have learned about classes, objects and inheritance, it's time to learn about polymorphism. Polymorphism means one thing having many forms. So friends, we have already seen how polymorphism works in real life. For example, when we worked with plus operator, we saw how plus sign can be used to perform addition of two integers, or to concatenate two strings, or even to merge two lists together into a single list.
In the same way, we can use the len method in different ways. It can be used to count the number of characters present in a string or to count the number of elements inside a list or a tuple.
Polymorphism allows different classes to be treated as instances of the same class through inheritance. It's like having a common interface for different data types. Let me demonstrate it with the help of an example.
In this example, I have created a base class called animal having two methods. The first method is init method where I am initializing the name variable, and second method is speak method and it does not have any method definition, so I have written pass keyword. Now I am creating one derived class and let's call it as class dog, and then it is inheriting from animal class, so pass the name animal inside the parenthesis. Now inside this class I am going to provide the implementation for speak method and I am basically overriding this method. Inside this method I am printing an f string which says self.name barks. Let's create another class and let's call it as cat class. And this class is also inheriting from animal, and now I am going to provide another implementation of speak method. Now inside this method I am going to print another f string which says self.name muse. Create objects of the classes. So my first object will be my dog, which belongs to dog class, and let's pass the name of the dog as Buddy. And similarly I am going to create another object called my cat, and this belongs to cat class, and let's name the cat as Fairy. Now which speak method gets executed depends upon the object calling it. And I am going to define a generic method. Let's call it as make sound, and I am passing a generic object of animal type to this function, and inside this function I will type animal.speak. So based upon the object calling the speak method, a different behavior of speak method would be seen in the output. Now I am going to create a list called my pets, and here I am passing both these objects, my dog and my cat, and then I will create one loop where I am saying for every pet in my pets, that means I iterate over the list, and then I'll call this function make sound and pass here the pet. Let's run this file, and in this case first my dog object is passed to this function and we get Buddy barks, and then we pass my cat object and we get to see Fairy mews. In this example, make sound function doesn't care whether the object passed to it is an instance of dog class or cat class. All it cares about is that the object has a speak method. This is known as duck typing in Python.
Duck typing is a powerful concept in Python, according to which if an object has a required method or property, then it can be used regardless of its class or type. The name duck typing comes from the saying, if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it is probably a duck. This means that duck typing focuses on what an object can do rather than what it is. While duck typing provides flexibility, if the object does not have the required method or property, it can lead to runtime errors. Thus, we have learned that both inheritance and polymorphism provide the advantage of flexibility, reusability, extensibility, and maintainability of code. That's all for the second part, guys. In this video we covered what is inheritance and what are its different types. Then we also learned about polymorphism, how it works through method overriding, and duck typing. Stay tuned for part 3 where we will learn about encapsulation and abstraction in Python. If you have learned something new today, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe Programming Horizons for more videos like this. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video.